Welcome everybody to Business Balance and Beyond with the real Kurt B. We are here at Mamba Mortgage, and I am excited today to have my friend Yareli here with us. She's going to be speaking about a few different things, but she is an agent here in the Indianapolis area, the greater Indianapolis area, and we have a really cool topic. Something that she is obviously passionate about and something that I'm continuing to learn more and more about. As you guys know, one of my passions is finding more ways to help more people. And again, money is just an object, but there's always something more that can be done for our community and be able to help engage with other folks. So something that we're going to talk about are breaking barriers for the first-time homebuyer. And then we're also going to relate that back to the Spanish-speaking community as well and some of the barriers that we're seeing. So Yareli, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, my name is Yareli Aguilar. I was born in Mexico, and then I came here at the age of 2. I am a DACA recipient, which means like I'm not a U.S. citizen. I actually have like a work permit.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people with the same status, and we're kind of just in the middle, in the shuffle of it, and we're just getting pushed back and forth, but we're doing our best.
Yeah.
We're working and we're growing, and there's a lot of DACA recipients that are business professionals.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. So I think, man, I want to point that out as right out the gate, right? A barrier that you have had to engage with and overcome because you've been doing a great job in the real estate industry as an agent of connecting with different folks and again, finding a passion of not only being able to help others, but specifically that Spanish speaking community. I want to touch a little bit on that. So how did you decide or get into both a combination of real estate and what made the target be first time home buyers and kind of that Spanish speaking community?
Yeah, so I decided I wanted to do real estate. Before this, I'm a cosmetologist. I still have my license, and
I probably smell with my hair too.
and I still have some loyal clients. But I love doing it. It was a passion for me, but I realized that I had to work 5-6 days a week, and it would have to be standing all day, like 10 to 7 p.m., which you can make some great money, but I think I just wanted to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing real estate for like 3 years before I actually made that leap because I researched a lot about it and I knew that it's a risk because you're not continuously, like you're not getting a steady paycheck.
Right.
It's very commission based. So it's something that I thought about a lot. And with the help of my family, I decided to make that transition.
I think that's incredible. So what made you tie that then to say, hey, you know what? While I'm already at it, doing an incredible job in the real estate industry, how can I leverage my knowledge and what you've been through to be able to help the Spanish speaking community?
It was a no-brainer. My family, we are, like my parents don't speak English. Well, they do, but not like a lot. And when I was at home, especially growing up, they would ignore me unless I spoke Spanish because that was their way of making me practice it.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that now, but at the time I was really annoyed with it. So as soon as I told my parents, this is what I'm going to do, they were like, well, obviously, you can help the community in this way. There's always people like my parents who are looking to buy and they couldn't buy the traditional route and they had to find the right people, the right connections.
Yeah, no, I think that's super powerful. And I appreciate you sharing your story because I have a very similar one, right? Where I came from physical therapy and went into the space of getting used to having kind of that steady W-2 income into the, oh man, we're in the commissions world now. And understanding like this business though is built on relationships. And so that's one of the things I admire about what you're doing is because you're building those deeper relationships. It's more than just the commissions paycheck, right? It's more than getting that steady income. It's about finding that way to continue to help people. Let's talk about kind of the barriers to the home buying process. So can you give me a couple of different scenarios of different things that are barriers within a first-time home buyer?
Yeah, so a lot of first-time home buyers, they don't know how to purchase a home. So a lot of people will call me off of our signs and just say, hey, what are their requirements? And then I have to talk to them about credit, about how long have you been at your job, about how much money do you have in the bank. And it's not very comfortable conversations. People don't want to talk to a random stranger about that.
Yeah.
Especially if you are like a Spanish speaking client, I kind of have to ask you what your status is because it depends on what kind of loan you can get. And those are uncomfortable conversations that I've gotten more comfortable having. But those are the main barriers that I see, just mostly credit and the down payment, the money that it takes.
Absolutely. No, I think that's really powerful, though, to go back to that, because if I went up and had that same conversation, it's not going to have the same effect, right? For you to be able to do that, because you have a story that relates to that a lot more, right? And I think that's really powerful. And so within some of those barriers, what are some of the ways that you have found to be able to help with those things?
I would say a lot of the clients that I meet, I like to talk to them about the process. And in that, we discover that they might need more time, 3 months, 6 months, they might need to work on credit. A lot of my Spanish-speaking clients, they have like their own businesses. A lot of them do like a cleaning business, cooking, catering, all that kind of thing. And they have to have a certain amount of taxes done for that to count. And a lot of them don't know that. And so it's just about getting that education. But now we can come up with a plan to get them where they need to be in a year or 2 years.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, and call me biased from the mortgage lending side, but I think a lot of people think that you don't have to talk to a lender or to an agent until it's time to go, right? And we've talked about this already, but having the ability to have that conversation ahead of the game, right, is so powerful, because sometimes it's about, hey, do we know where our finances are? Do we know where our credit's at? Do we know like what we're trying to accomplish, what our goals are? Hey, are we looking to potentially invest down the road? Are we looking just to buy our first home? Where do we want to go with our business, right? All of those factors are huge players to make sure we put people in the right spot for success. Now, and I'll ask you this because we again had this conversation, but from the lending side, what has been some of the issues that you ran into for our Spanish-speaking community?
Yeah, so I had a client, he wanted to buy his neighbor's house. She had offered it to him, and she was not in great medical condition. So he wanted to help her out, and he wanted to invest. He wanted to fix up that property and make some rental income. And I met with him, and he has a beautiful house. You could tell that he worked on it himself, and he has a company where he does multiple things: construction, roofing, cleaning. And I connected him with the lender. And the lender said, no, we can't do it. He has too much debt. We just can't do it. And I was really bummed because he and his wife just seemed like the sweetest people. Like they really wanted to help not only their neighbor, but they wanted to like level up. So I said, okay, well, keep trying. And then I got a call back, I think 2 days later, and he was like, you know what? We figured out a different route that we can do, and we can get him to where he wants to be. So I think you see that a lot. If you don't get pre-approved on the first try, or if you don't qualify right now, that doesn't mean go ghost, never come back. It's just, okay, what are the next steps? How long is it going to take?
I think that's a wonderful answer. I mean, I think it is very important for that first consultation, right, to be able to understand where we're at, what we need to do. And again, if you're wanting to, like you said, level up, how can we make sure that you're in the best spot? I like to think of us as solution finders, right? Our job is to make sure that we can go out there and find out what the answer is. And that answer may be, hey, not yet, right? But here's how we're going to get there. Because in that scenario, right, there were a lot of different options that they could go and that they could do. It was just that, hey, now we need to have a conversation about paying back down debt. Maybe we need to increase your ability to have a better credit score, right? And again, using some of those different loan opportunities for folks that have been through this similar scenarios where there's all kinds of products now that allow all of that. And it's super powerful because it doesn't matter who you are. And here in the United States, we can make something happen, right? And I think that's a pretty powerful thing. And again, I'm biased by having conversations with people and seeing truly what their goals are. Because some people have never sat down and actually understood, like, my goal is to buy just one primary home versus, hey, I want to buy a primary home, but then I also want to buy a rental property. I want to start kind of investing in the future. And I think those are some powerful things that get kind of glossed over, and people don't even realize that they have that potential and that they have that ability to do that. So I do think that's super valuable in understanding at the very beginning. And if you have questions, like the first thing to do is reach out to you, Riley. Reach out to me, and we can have that beginning conversation. One of the things that Yareli and I are working on is putting together some simple packets, right? Where people are able to understand the basic process. Because when you understand the basics of what's going on, what that allows you to do is it takes off the nerves, right? Because anybody can do it. Our job is to make it a lot easier, right? And there's fear that typically is involved with purchasing probably the most expensive thing that you're ever going to purchase. And especially if you never thought you were capable of doing it, which you are. And so understanding that and asking those questions, and sometimes it's sitting there and saying, I don't even know what question to ask right now to Yareli, to myself. And then to have that conversation together, like, okay, here, let's just guide it in the right way, right? And that's why we got into this business. And so tell us a little bit, what are some of the things that you motivate your clients with, and kind of breaking through those barriers to get to the next level of home ownership, investing, and really just betting on themselves too?
Well, I want to start by saying there's a ton of misconceptions in the Latino community where they're scared of getting scammed, they're scared of losing money. Some of them have already had bad home buying experiences. So first thing, trying to make a friend on the phone, letting them know I'm not some random stranger trying to sell you something. You don't have to pay me anything to meet with me. It's just about getting you that information so you can make the best informed decision for you. And whether they decide to buy right now or in a year or 2 years, it's still great for me. I'm just here to help you, whether it's now or later. So with a lot of my clients, it's about getting them the information. And if they can't, they're not ready to go yet, I just say, hey, I'm going to keep up with you. I'm going to keep in touch with you. And I'm going to make sure that we're hitting those goals. And if something happens in life where you can't hit those goals, that's okay. But your goal is to buy a home, and I want to get you there.
Right. And essentially, you're a high level accountability partner, right? You're taking people to that next level, saying you've talked to, because we've had a real conversation about what you want to do, what you want to accomplish, and here's the plan how to get there. And I'm going to make sure that I'm following up, checking on you to make sure that you're saving appropriately, to building your credit up, to making sure that you have everything in order to get to those next steps. So, man, that is so powerful. So it sounds like some of the biggest barriers that we're dealing with are communication, right? I think that's across the board. Communication in any relationship, doesn't matter what it is always a limiting factor. And some of the things that we can help with that is making sure we're connecting with people that have the ability to communicate effectively. So in this case, I am not a great Spanish speaker, right? You do not want to hear me say anything. I can understand a little bit, but having those conversations with somebody like Yareli, right, allows us then to say, okay, she can kind of walk through that process, right? Now, using the knowledge of others to make sure we're walking down the financial pattern the appropriate way, that's a great place for me to come in, but I have to have an excellent resource like yourself to make sure that those clients feel everything that they're doing, because you've already built that connection with them. Something else that we can do on the lending side is, again, working on giving those simple loan procedures of like, what is this going to look like? And putting it in both English and Spanish, right? Super, I say super simple, but the idea is simple. It does take some work, right?
Yeah.
But man, is it powerful because now it's like, oh, hey, this is an easy way to kind of get that base level of communication. I think that's very powerful. So thank you for doing that and doing what you're doing. And man, if you guys have any questions related to like where do I go next in my journey, whether you're Spanish speaking or not, again, Yareli is a fantastic resource. What would be the best way for people to be able to reach you?
Definitely calls. I love calls. I know that's really like old soul of me, but
I'm with you.
an email, a text. You could totally friend me on Facebook, but for sure to get a hold of me best is a call.
Okay, perfect. I'll put all of that in the description so you're able to get a hold of her. I'll probably try to flash it on the screen or something as well. But man, what a powerful way to just kind of tell people the story of you don't have to stay in that space where you don't think you can do something, right? You have the ability, you have the resources of people around you that want to help, that want to build you up.
And I will say with the Spanish speaking community, they're kind of sneaky because a lot of my clients have been like the most, they'll come to a closing like in their work clothes. They just finished like demolishing someplace.
Yep.
Um, you know, I had a client, she has 11 houses.
Yeah.
And she also has a cleaning business. And she's just a regular person. And she, she's not dripping in like name brand.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of people that I love to work with because they're very motivated.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I mean, I'm currently wearing a Bucky shirt, so I can't really speak to that high level of drip, as you say. But I think that is a beautiful thing because it comes with a lot of humility, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the background that they grew up with or that we all grew up with, just that reflects a lot of what we do. And I love that when people don't need all of the shiny stuff, right? And they're just here to try their best. And that's really, really important. Because man, giving back to the community in general is so powerful. So I just want to wrap up with that. Thank you, Yareli, so much for being here and sharing that story because I think that's going to reach a lot of people. And if you guys have any questions, please reach out to her, reach out to myself. We would love to kind of guide you through that process. And other than that, everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one.